All right, let's get started here. Again, welcome everyone to today's Aurora Sales Proposal Training. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join me on today's webinar. We're really excited for today's webinar. In particular, we have some new and exciting updates to our proposal templates that we've recently released. I'm excited to go over all of those with you. Everyone has been put on mute, and you will be on mute for the duration of the webinar, just to make sure that there isn't too much background noise. If you have any questions throughout today's webinar, please feel free to type it into the chat box and we'll get to those. Additionally, we do have a Q&A session at the end where we will get to all questions. Let's quickly jump over into today's agenda. So we're going to go through a quick introduction into Aurora, the customer success and support team here at Aurora. What makes a winning sales proposal? What is a proposal template? We'll go through a full demonstration of editing a proposal template. We'll explore through all the new updates, and then we'll bring it together in a final proposal generation from a project that I've been working on. Now, normally on our proposal webinar, I do go through finance templates. Today, since we do have a lot to cover with the new updates in the proposal templates, we'll go skip over that, but everyone will be receiving a copy of our webinar where I do cover finance templates as well. So you'll get that. A little bit about the customer success team here at Aurora. So on the left-hand side here, we have our customer success analysis, including Natasha, Alex, and myself. We do have some new team members joining in. On the right-hand side here, we have our wonderful support team, including Oscar, Matt, and Michelle. We're always happy to help. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your dedicated customer success analyst, kind of your account manager here at Aurora, or the support team. And I'll show you our newest feature, which you can contact the support team directly as well. A little bit about Aurora. Our mission is to help you design and sell better solar. And we do that through a number of ways, including remote site analysis, bankable shade reports, accurate performance simulations, financial models, and customizable sales proposals, and we'll go through that in depth. Now let's quickly jump over into a background of what makes a winning sales proposal. So at Aurora, we interviewed several different solar companies. Some of these companies were Aurora customers and some were not. And we really wanted to see what they thought should be included in a final sales proposal. These companies helped us come to the conclusion of 5 major items, which include highlighting things that are important to a homeowner. So things like pre and post utility bills, lifetime savings, a list of components that you're going to be working on for the project. Being flexible enough to show what you want to show. As we'll demonstrate in just a moment, our proposals are completely customizable, and you can show exactly what you would like to present to your client in your final proposal. Differentiating your company, we do allow the ability to upload your company logo as well as update the proposal template with your company colors. Exuding the highest sense of quality and professionalism, and then being remarkable. And I just got a notice it sounds like my volume is down. If you guys can type into the chat box and let me know if you can hear me, that'd be wonderful. Perfect, thank you everyone. If you're interested in hearing more about this research, please check out our full article available on our blog page, blog.aurorasolar.com. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend subscribing to our blog. We do put out updates about any new features or updates we have within Aurora, as well as updates in the industry. So we do send out some cool blog posts there. Now let's jump over into our sales templates. So in Aurora, we've pre-configured 4 sales templates for you. These sales templates are brandable with your logo and company colors, customizable, and again, we'll go through that in depth in just a moment. And all 4 of these sales templates do default to 16 pages with all the information that you'd like to show to your clients. These 16 pages with these 16 pages, you can hide pages throughout the proposal if you don't feel deemed necessary, if that's not something you'd like to show, and you can add additional pages as well. If you've had a chance to go into the database section and look at our proposal templates, I'm sure you've noticed 3 additional templates as well. So we have our 4 residential sales templates, we have 2 commercial templates, and then we have a preliminary site assessment document as well. And we'll jump over into those and take a quick peek at those in just a moment. Our 4 sales templates do default to comparing a cash and loan option. But this is just a default, and these can of course be updated with whatever kind of finance options you'll be ultimately presenting to your client. You can compare up to 3 different finance options. So if you'd like to do a cash and 2 different loans, you're most certainly able to model that out. If you'll be doing a loan, PPA and a cash, a lease, PPA and a loan, any number of different type of financings, up to 3 different financings in each proposal. We'll quickly go through what it means to edit your proposal template. So a little bit of background, what exactly is a proposal template and how is it different from a project proposal? So your proposal template itself should be looked at as a container or blueprint. Each proposal is basically a copy of the template with limited ability to edit. So as a container or blueprint, you're going to create your proposal template once, model it out, configure it out exactly how to meet your needs. And then from there, every time you generate that proposal, a proposal in your using it for one of your projects, you use that template, and all necessary information will copy over and populate into that proposal. The template is a place where you will create, set up, and customize your proposals. You can choose to show things like 2D and 3D models, different placeholders, different charts and tables, images and logos. Again, they're completely customizable, and you can set however you'd like to configure that. The proposal itself is the final place where everything will come together, and this is what you will be printing and presenting to your customer. The proposal itself will apply financial models. It'll bring together the financial side of it, the system design, performances, and imagery into one document. Again, our proposals combine all of that data and you would like to present in one document on the system design and performance side. This includes 2D and 3D viewports, placeholders, different tables such as bill of materials tables, and the production data. On the financial analysis side, we'll go through placeholders. You could add different tables and charts, environmental conditions for those curious homeowners, and it'll bring it all together in one final template. Let's jump over into Aurora and look at some of our changes and the proposal templates. Bear with me just a second. This is, if you're a newer Aurora user, this is your kind of your welcome page. You will always be brought over to the projects page. If you haven't created any new projects, the create new project icon will be here right in the center. I do have some projects that I'm working on, so those are listed here. For today's webinar, we're going to be focusing in on the database section, specifically the incentives tab, and the proposals templates tab. We have our Learn section. If you're a brand new Aurora user, I highly recommend going through our Learn section. There are a number of videos that we have to get you started. So things like a quick Aurora orientation, inputting usage and bills, smart roof on intermediate roofs, easy roofs, commercial roofs, adding modules, adding trees, adding any obstructions. We do have that library here. Again, they're short 1 to 3 minute videos, so if you do have some trouble, I recommend checking out our Learn section. And then we have our Help section. This is where we have a complete library of different help articles, as well as additional videos to help you get through your projects. We do host 2 additional live weekly group webinars, the Aurora A to Z, which my colleague hosts every Tuesday and Thursday, as well as the Smart Roof webinar, which my colleague hosts every Wednesday. If you haven't had a chance, I highly recommend joining those webinars as well to get you started there. Now let's jump over to the proposal templates themselves. So before I start, going through our templates, just a quick side note: proposal templates, finance templates, any kind of account settings can only be configured and changed by account administrators. If you're a single user on your account, your username, your user login is automatically defaulted to an administrator. But if there are multiple users in your account, and you're unable to make edits to proposals or financings or anything like that, you will have to check in with your administrator, get admin privileges, and then you could start making the changes. Additionally, before we get started with these templates, I'll quickly go over how to upload your logo. So on the top right hand here, I'm going to click my name and go to the settings section. I'm going to navigate over to the left hand side under General. And I have 2 areas where I can upload my logo. If my logo has a light background, just like mine does, I'll go ahead and use this first option. If my logo has a dark background, I'll go ahead and use this bottom section. And I simply just want to click into the icon here and then pick from any of the images available on my computer. Quickly go back over to our templates. So as I mentioned earlier, we have 7 pre-configured templates in Aurora. Becquerel, Fritz, Fuller, Pearson are our 4 residential sales templates. And quick fun fact, Becquerel, Fritz, Fuller, and Pearson are all named after solar pioneers, so people that have contributed significantly to the industry. We have our 2 commercial templates, which we'll jump into in just a moment, and then we have our preliminary site assessment document, so let's take a look at this. Our preliminary site assessment document is a pretty straightforward document. It's 2 pages with customer information here on the top right, the customer name, their address, system size, estimated year 1 production. Anywhere throughout today's webinar, if you see this Aurora logo, it's the logo that I've uploaded, and this will update with whatever logo that you upload. We have a larger 2D top-down view of the project on the first page. And then on the second page, we have a 2D as well as 3D view of the project and a complete component list as well. We have an area for notes down here. And so again, this is just a prelim doc. If you like the style, the style of the site assessment, you can certainly build off of that and use this as your proposal template. Quickly jumping into our first commercial template, we'll take a quick peek at this. All of our templates have a cover and back page. So your cover will always have your logo, the customer information, and then contact information, so whoever the designer of this project is. Some information about savings and current average monthly electric bills, cash flows over time, 2D, 3D images of the project, different charts and tables. A page helping you make a easy financial decision, what the system cost will be, what their ITC would be, and then what ultimately will be the cost for the home for the business owner. Monthly cash flow tables showing annual cash flows as well as cumulative cash flows. And that is our commercial template. Our commercial template 2 is a little more robust and does have some more information. So if you'd like to check out either of those 2 and see what works best for you, you can build off of that. We want to make sure that our clients do have access to all 7 original templates at all times. And so if I click into any of these templates currently, I won't be able to make any configuration changes. What I'll need to do is identify the template that I want to work with. Click this 3-dot icon here to the right-hand side, and we'll go ahead and duplicate this. And then we want to give our new template a name, so I'll go ahead and give it a name. And now we'll duplicate. We'll wait for that just a moment. And now I know I can start making configuration changes to this template when I see menu options here to the right. And if I click into any of these pages, I can start making text changes and everything. Quickly go over what this residential sales template. So again, the residential sales templates do default to 16 pages comparing the cash and the loan option. This most certainly can be updated. Again, we do have our front cover page, and I can make configuration changes. Let's make our logo a little bigger there. We have a disclaimers page, which includes key proposal assumptions, including utility assumptions, system assumptions, and financial assumptions. A why your company page. So you may want to update this page with things like any kind of information about your company, anything that you'd like to focus on with your company. We have a overview of your system's overview page, including system size, system cost, estimated year 1 production, estimated year 1 savings, key statistics, including percent of energy generated from solar, percent of your electric bill saved from solar. What is the cost of not going solar? So what their current utility bill looks like, what it'll look like 25 years without solar, and then ultimately what it'll be in 25 years with solar. How much will you save with solar? Comparing a finance options page. A breakdown of a complete breakdown if they were to go with the cash option, what their cumulative cash flow would look like, what their full savings would look like in 25 years, system costs, grants, incentives, their utility bill before and after going solar. A loan page breaking down that same information, so estimated 25-year savings, cumulative cash flow chart there. Our loan page continued. Our rebates and incentives page. Warranty and insurance. A testimonials page. Why go solar? I know that this is a page a lot of homeowners are interested in. What kind of environmental impact they're making by going solar. So number of passenger cars taken off the road a year, how many trees they've planted, how many fewer miles they've driven. An FAQ page. Next step with stock images here. And then your back page. Any of the images, the text, anything throughout these pre-configured templates can be updated. For example, if I'd like to change the picture on the right-hand side here with Why So Solar and Why Your Company page, let's say I'd like to update it with an image of your team. I can certainly update that. I can delete the image here and then update it accordingly. Running really slow. Bear with me just one moment. I'm going to navigate over to the top right-hand side here where there's the gear icon under settings. And this is the general settings of your proposal templates. And let's give this a moment to open up. And this is where you'll be doing is setting the general settings of this proposal template. We've already given our template a name, Workshop March 7th, 2019. We can update things like the theme color for our proposal template. So the theme color defaults to whatever company colors that you set under the settings, your general settings. But we can update that here. We can select a color. We can change the opacity of that color. And if you have a particular color that you're working with and you know the hashtag ID number, you can enter that in there. You could change to have the page. You can change the page size from US letter to A4. And then a very important part, setting your financing boundaries. So this is where you'll set up what type of financing options you'll be presenting in this particular proposal. So again, we can compare up to 3, but if you'd like to just show a cash, if you're just working with cash projects, you could certainly keep just cash. If you're doing just loan, you can keep it just loan. For today's webinar, I'm going to compare a cash option. I want to make sure that the type is selected correctly. I'm going to do a loan A, 10-year option. I want to make sure that the type is selected as loan as well. And then I'll do a loan B 20-year option as well. And now I've set the parameters of the financing options that I'm going to be presenting in this proposal. So I'll go ahead and save this. And we're good to go. For today's webinar, I'm going to create a final overview page for my clients. So before they turn to the last page of their proposal template, they want to know what the next steps are. I'm going to create just a quick snippet of what they're going to be looking at if they were to go solar. So I'm going to insert a new page, and I do that by hitting the insert icon, which is found between each of our current pages. And again, it's just right there. If you'd like to delete any of the pages in these templates, you're certainly welcome to do that by hitting the trash icon. If you'd like to change the order of the pages, you'd hit the up and down arrow. And if there's a page that you'd like to duplicate and make minor changes, you can hit our new duplicate icon, and it'll copy over the page exactly how it is. Before I get started designing and configuring my page, what I want to do is enable the grid. So I'm going to right-click onto the blank page, and I'm going to toggle grid. We previously had the grid icon here in the center top. What we've done now is toggle, move that feature by right-clicking onto the blank page and toggling the grid on. Enabling the grid just makes it easier for me to design. I know I'm getting more crisp and clean lines. Everything's aligning up perfectly. So again, for designing, it makes it much more easier. I'm going to go ahead and expand our menu options here to the right. And we're going to look at things like text boxes, lines, images, 3D unified viewports, different charts, and different tables. What I'm going to do is the first thing, I'm going to go ahead and enable a text box, and I'm going to add that throughout. I'm going to add that towards the top here. One thing to note is that the grid does have a margin around the page, but you can most certainly design outside of that page, outside of the grid as well. So what you can just simply move that up. And now let's start typing in here. Again, I'm going to create one final overview, quick snippet for my client, and we're going to start configuring the text within our text box. So previously, you had to right-click to enable the text box properties, but what we've done now is make it much more simple and intuitive, and we've enabled all the text configuration options here at the top portion. So once you're in your text box and it's highlighted green like this, you'll have the option of updating that text. You can change the text style. We can change the text font size. We could change the text color if we'd like. Back into this, we can make the text bold. I'll go ahead and highlight this, make the text bold. We could italicize the text. We could underline the text. We could change the alignment of the text, line height. We could add numbers, a numbered list, as well as a bullet point list throughout throughout a proposal anywhere we add a text box. We could add borders. So let me go ahead and quickly add a border here. We could apply that border to either the top, bottom, left, or right. We can add padding to that text box as well. And then we can change the background color of the text box. I'll go ahead and change the alignment in here, and I want it center. I'm going to add some line height so we get that text a little more center as well. Perfect. Going through some additional features here, we have our line feature, which is pretty straightforward. You can add lines to break throughout your proposal to break up any pages. As an example, if we scroll up, our pre-configured pages do have the line underlining the page, explaining what the page is there. So that's certainly a feature. If you'd like to change the thickness and the color of the line, you're going to go ahead and click into the line, and then you get the line menu option here at the top left-hand corner. So we can change the color of the line if we'd like, and that thickness. Go ahead and delete this. And by deleting any of these elements off of my proposal, I'm simply clicking into it and hitting backspace or delete on my keyboard, and it's deleting just that element. To delete the entire page, again, you're going to hit the trash icon here to the right-hand side. Quickly going through images, we can add two different types of images to Aurora, including images. And let me expand this out here. Clicking into the image icon in the center, and then uploading that image. With images, I've seen clients in the past use the image feature for things like maybe you'd like to upload images of the components that you're working on for this project. Maybe you'd like to present past projects that you've completed. Maybe that could be included on your About Us page. For more personal proposals, you may want to upload an image of your entire team. Again, it is how you whatever kind of image you'd like to upload, you certainly are welcome to do that. Again, to delete, I'm going to simply click into the image. When I get the highlighted outline like this, I'll go ahead and delete on my keyboard, and it'll ask me if I'm sure, and I'll go ahead and delete that. I can add the logo, my logo, to anywhere throughout the proposal as well. We do have two areas where your logo is automatically updated in our pre-configured templates, which is the front page and that back page. But if you'd like to add additional places for your logo, you'll go ahead and simply enable the logo feature. We have our 3D unified viewport, so let me expand that. So quick update with the 3D unified viewport is if you'd like to show a 2D top-down view of the project as well, you'll be using this 3D option. And towards the, in a little bit when we do a proposal generation, I'll show you how to switch the image from 3D to 2D, my apologies. But I'll show you how to switch that up. With the 3D, we can add, again, borders around that image. We can add padding around the image. We can change the background color. And then with the eye icon, we can toggle certain features. So on our final proposal generation, if we'd like to show things like the trees that we've drawn, satellite imagery, ground and sky, irradiance on the building and the panels, or any kind of measurements and rulers, we can enable those here. And then once the proposal is generated, it'll automatically default to whatever you've toggled on here. Moving down, we'll take a quickly look at some of the charts we have available. So we have annual cash flow charts. Let me expand this out. And this is our annual cash flow chart. So this is cash flows for every year of the life of the project, independent of all other years. Once I've expanded that out, I can change the font style in that graph. I can change I can add a border around this graph. I can again add padding, change the background color, and then I can also update the colors, the positive and negative colors of the graph as well. So let's say I'd like to update the negative color to a red color. I'll simply click into this blue here. And then we could update that color accordingly. One important thing to note with our graphs and charts is, I'm sure you've noticed this finance option here. Whenever we're adding a table or a graph throughout our proposal, we want to make sure that that is tied to the correct finance option. So earlier I configured this template to show 3 different finance options: a cash, a loan A, and a loan B. And so now I have the option to tie that graph or chart to either of these, to any of these finance options. Looking at some of the pre-configured pages, let me scroll up here really quickly. If I click into the graph on my cash page and I look at it, I can see that the financing has been tied to the cash option. If I go over to the loan chart, I'll click into that, and I can see that it's defaulted to the first loan option, which is our loan A. So again, it is really important to always tie that to the right finance options. A lot of the time we see customers configure their templates and then later, reach out to the success or support team asking us, why did the figures look a little off? Why does the chart look a little off? And it may be because it's not tied to the right finance option. We'll delete that, continue down our list here. We'll look at our cumulative cash flow chart. And so this is our cumulative cash flow chart, which shows year-by-year savings for the life of the project. Again, when I expand my graph, I can change the font style, add a border, change padding, add a background color, and then change the positive and negative colors under the chart settings. Our production and consumption graph, let me expand this out. And this shows production versus consumption for year 1 of the project. So this is estimated production, and the consumption data is coming from whatever was entered into the consumption portal for that project. Again, this is year 1, and we can go ahead and, again, update font style, add a border, padding, background colors. We'll take a look at the charts. We can update the production color, the consumption color. A new update we have is we can toggle on what type of features we'd like, what data we'd like to show. If we just want to show year 1 production, we'll go ahead and simply disable the consumption view, and now it just shows production for year 1 for this project. If we just want to show the consumption, we'll go ahead and toggle off the production, and now it's just year 1 estimated consumption. We'll look at our electricity bill graph. And this is the electricity or utility bill pre and post going solar for the homeowner. Again, the pre-solar bill is based, pre and post-solar bill actually in this graph is based on what's been entered into the consumption profile, what utility provider and utility rate has been selected. Again, I want to make sure that my finance, that the chart settings are correct, it's tied to the right finance type, and that the pre and post solar colors are set correctly. We have our electricity mix pie chart. So this is where we will show the homeowner where their electricity consumption is coming from. So if you're offsetting 95% of their energy consumption with solar, obviously this will update with 95% solar, 5% utility. If you're offsetting 100%, this pie chart will be a complete 100% solar offset. And just like the other graphs, we can go ahead and update the chart settings as well. And then finally, we'll look at our lifetime bill comparison. Let me expand this out. And this is lifetime bill comparison of your project year by year, pre and post solar. With this one, I can go ahead and look at chart settings, and I want to enable callouts. And this will present us with callouts, including what their current utility bill looks like, what their bill will look like in 25 years without solar, and then what their bill will look like in 25 years with solar. Quickly go over our cash flow chart. Let me expand this out a bit, and let's reduce that font size so we can see what's going on here. So we have, let me actually update this so we can properly see. So this lists out our cash flow charts. We have our annual cash flow chart and cumulative cash flow chart, and this is year by year for the entire life of the project. Again, font sizes, font style, borders, all of that can be updated. But I want to toggle over to the view section here, and there are additional columns I can add to this table. I can add things like PBIs, PPA payments, interest payments, national local depreciation benefits, taxes, principal payments, prepayments, loan payments, and these are all on an annual basis. With the tables, I can now update it to have grid lines, so for easier view, and I can disable row colors, or I can have both row colors and grid lines on as well. Take a quick peek at our bill of materials table. So this will list out the components that you'll be using for this project. It defaults to just showing the model and the quantity, but if we go over to the view toggle, we can enable the type, as well as the manufacturer as well. So now we have a complete list including the type of component, the manufacturer, the model type, and then the quantity as well. We could also add the different types of components as well. So, you know, we'd like to, if you're going to be using microinverters on this project, combiner boxes, load centers, service panels, meters, disconnects, we can go ahead and certainly add those components as well. And then finally, we have our monthly savings table. Let me expand this out. And this shows monthly savings on a kilowatt hour basis as well as a dollar amount basis. And this is for year one, listed out month by month. We could add grid lines as well as row colors to this table here. Again, if you have any questions about those charts and graphs, please feel free to type them into the chat box and we'll get to those questions. I'm going to go ahead and create, again, I'm going to expand on my final overview page and I'm going to add 2 more text boxes here, or a few more text boxes. And this will be for my cache option. Let's update the text size there. Make that text bold. And then I want to change the alignment of that text as well. Do one for loan A 10-year option as well. It's good. And then with these, what I want to quickly do is add a border just to the bottom of the pages. So I'll click into the text box, we'll add a border. And I just want a border at the bottom separating, creating that line there. We'll add one final page, and let me expand this out. Final box, my apologies. And then we'll quickly again update the alignment of the text. We'll make that bold. I'll add that line height to center it for myself, and then I want to add that one last border there to the bottom, towards the bottom. Quickly, I want to just toggle off the grid to see what it looks like, and we're looking good there. I'm happy with what I've built out, so let me re-enable the grid. And then I'm going to add a few more text boxes here. I'm going to add a border around my current box there. And this new radius option curves out the edges of your text box. So if you would like the text box a little more curved like this, rather than having straight lines, you could update the radius. And you can actually update it pretty high. So if you'd like a more rounded out box, you can certainly update it by setting that radius degree a little higher. All right, perfect. I'm going to add just a few more boxes, and I'm going to add some charts and images to my project as well. So We'll do your homepage. And I'm going to add a 3D viewport of the projects. I want them to take one last look at what the project's going to look like on their home. I'll go ahead and align this accordingly. And then I'm going to add the electricity mix pie chart as well, so we can give them one last view of where their energy is coming from. I'm going to go ahead and add some placeholders now to my text boxes. So we'll do a down payment, a post solar utility rate, and then a final lifetime savings as well. I'll go ahead and do a loan payment here, since this will be for my loan option. We'll do a post solar utility rate as well. And then savings. And then to save some time and make it easier on myself, I'm just going to copy over that and paste it over into our loan fee section as well. And now what I want to do is add some placeholders. And previously, to add placeholders throughout your templates, there would be a menu option here at the bottom right-hand corner when you would have the box selected. But that's now updated, and now we can add placeholders by clicking this little three-dot icon here. Placeholders are what make our templates unique. Throughout our pre-configured templates, we have different placeholders. And let me go quickly show you those. And these are the areas that will update and populate automatically once a proposal is generated for a project. So any of these highlighted areas throughout your pre-configured pages that you've seen, these are our placeholders. And again, these are the figures, these are the texts that are going to update with each proposal. So on the Why Your Company page, for example, Why So Solar Inc., this will update with your organization name. And now we have those on our pre-configured pages, but I want to add those to the page that I'm building out. So again, I'm simply going to click into the page, the text box that I've created. I'm going to click the three-dot icon and then find the placeholder that I want to add. So first off, we're working with the down payment option. I can go through our categories and try to find different placeholders. Quickly going through the categories. On our design side, for example, we can add the design name, system size on a DC or AC ratio, number of panels, number of modules, number of DC optimizers. On the financing side, we can add things like IIR and PV, LCOE, payback period, system costs, things like that. So we do have a very a good amount of placeholders in our library. But I'm going to make my life a little simple, and I'm going to search for my first placeholder, which is a down payment, and I can simply just type in the word down, and now it's found the placeholder that I'm going to be working with. And since this first box that I'm adding placeholders is for our cash option, I want to make sure that I'm tying the right finance type, just like our graphs and tables, adding that placeholder, tying it to the correct finance option. So go ahead and add that. And now if we hover over that placeholder, we can see that it's for the cash option and it is a down payment. We'll add our post-solar utility bill. So I'm going to go over to utility bills. I'm going to find the right placeholder that I want to work with. So let's do utility bill, post-solar year one monthly average. Again, I want to tie it to the right finance option. And then we have savings, and I want to do savings lifetime. I'm going to do the same thing over on our loan payments side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add, go over to our loan section. And I'm going to add loan payments after reamortization. And I want to tie it to the loan A option. So we'll go ahead and insert that. I want to do the post-solar utility rate again. So let me find that. And then I'm going to do my savings as well. And then I'll quickly go through these as well. Perfect. So I've added my charts. I've added the chart I want. I've added my final 3D viewport that I'm going to be adding in. I've added my placeholders. I'm giving them that final breakdown, but I want to customize my page just a little more. I'm good to go. I like the way I've designed it, but I just want to give it that little extra edge. So what I'm going to do is actually add an image to the background. So like our cover page, our front cover page, we have an image overlaying, our text overlaying a background image. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, you can update these images throughout your proposal templates as well. But I'm going to go ahead and add an image to the background of the page that we just configured. So what I'm going to do is go over to our image options, expand the image out. I'm going to go ahead and upload an image, and then we'll give that a second to load. Let me expand this out. And now I know that the image is overlaying my text. So what I'm going to do is right-click into the image and send this to back. And now I have my text overlaying the image. But it's still a little dark, so what I can do is update the opacity of the image as well, so it's a little lighter. It's not as harsh. And then I'm actually going to click into our text boxes here, and I want to change the opacity of that as well, so it makes the text a little easier to see. So I'm going to update these to about 50. And I can also just simply type it in. You go ahead and toggle off the grid in the back. So let me expand the image out again just a little bit. I'm going to disable the grid. Look at my design. So now I've completed my final overview page. Again, this is the last page, one of the last pages I want my customer to see before presenting this. This gives them a quick snapshot of what I've just designed, the different kind of loan options that they're going to be, or that I'm going to be presenting. One quick view of their home and a quick view of where their energy is going to be coming from, so they get a good grasp on what type of project we're working on. Once I have everything saved, my proposal has been updated. I've updated all the charts, all the tables, all the text that I'd like. I've deleted the pages I don't want anymore. I've added the pages I'd like. I'll go ahead and simply click the save icon up here to the top left-hand corner. Go back to my proposals. And now I have that template saved, and I know it'll be saved for me to work on for future projects. These checkmark icons mean that these are saved on my list. So let's say I'd like to, I just want the proposal templates that I've created saved. I'll go ahead and uncheck those, and I only have the one that I just created earlier saved. So we went through how to modify your template. We uploaded our logo, updated our text boxes, added placeholders, added our 2D and 3D viewports. We went through how to modify our charts and tables, adding placeholders, making sure that the placeholders are tied to the correct finance types. We added our loan columns, made sure that those were tied to the correct finance option. Now let's bring it all together in one of our projects. So I'm going to go back over to our projects area, click into the project that I'm working on. Before I generate my proposal, one very important thing to note is that I want to make sure that all my entire project has been completed. So I want to make sure that my consumption profile has been updated and has the energy usage, the correct provider, the correct rate selected. So I'm good to go there. On the design portion, let me click into this. I know that the site model has been created. So site model, including trees, including the building itself. On the system side, my array has been modeled out. It's been strung and connected. I've run the performance simulation, and for this project, I know there's a 94% energy offset, so I'm good to go there. I've set my pricing at $325 a watt, my apologies. And now we want to run the financing. So let's go ahead and quickly run our financing. We'll do our cash option first. And I've created my templates earlier, so we'll go ahead and run our cash analysis. So we're good to go here. We have our cumulative cash flow chart going, our annual and our electricity bill. We have our total lifetime savings, our payback period, IIR, profitability index has updated. We set our utility escalation rate. We've saved our incentives, system and maintenance. So we're good there. We'll add our loan A option now, and I'm going to keep the same naming convention to reduce any kind of error or mistakes. So I'll do loan A 10-year. We'll select the template, and now let's run the analysis there. So we have our lifetime and monthly bill savings entered in, utility escalation rate again. Our loan template has been added in, incentive, so we're good to go there. And then we'll do our final loan, our loan B 20-year. We'll create this. Run our analysis, and now we're good to go there. So now we have all three of our finance options, the financing options run. And we're going to jump over to our documents, and we're going to finally do our proposal, or generate a proposal. So again, I'll keep the same naming convention. I want to select the template that I created, and since I saved that one template, I have a defaults to showing, just allow for it to only allow me to select that template. I now want to tie the right finance options accordingly. And we'll give this a second to run. And now our final proposal has been generated. All of our placeholders have updated, including utility rates, estimated annual utility bills, utility bill increases, system size, total system cost, any kind of financial assumptions. System overview page, so system size, system cost, year one production, our key statistics. Over here on the right-hand side, we have our images, and I mentioned earlier that I show you how to update those 2D and 3D images. So adding that 3D viewport, you can update the viewport to show a 2D top-down view or the 3D view. What we've also done is update how you can toggle on certain elements in this image by clicking into the image. I have the eyeball icon, the view icon here to the top left-hand side. And now I can enable things like trees, irradiance on the building, irradiance on the panels themselves, LiDAR data if that's available and you like to show that. If there's setbacks you'd like to show, we can enable that. Let's say I'd like just the 2D top-down view of this. We'll have the 3D view there. We'll simply right-click into our mouse and adjust the image accordingly. If you're not using a mouse and you're just on your trackpad on your laptop, you can double-click and then move that around. What is the cost of not going solar? My graph there has updated. Now let's take a look at our final page that we created earlier. Let me update my image here. And so now we have our final overview page that we configured from scratch, all updated, including down payments, including post-solar utility bill, including savings. It'll give them a quick, again, snapshot of what they're looking at. Savings, our savings are listed out side by side. You know, it gives that option to that homeowner, where their energy is coming from. So 94% solar, 6% from their utility, and this will give them that final overview. When you've, in any time you've ever done a proposal generation and there's a page on that particular proposal that you'd like to hide, you could simply hit this eyeball option, this eyeball icon here to the right-hand side, and it'll hide the page, and it'll let you know between each of these pages that there's a hidden page there. To finally print or save the document as a PDF, I'm going to go ahead and click this print icon here. And again, I can save the item as a PDF, or I can print it out. So just quickly going through an Aurora workflow, we input our client info, or our first step is to input client information, including consumption, entering utility consumption into the consumption profile, analyzing the location, including 2D, 3D site models, running the shading, running irradiance to get that shading report going, doing the design of the system itself, including module placement, stringing and connecting it, simulating that performance, and then finally bringing it all together in our final proposal, which brings our model and financial analysis together. We went through our demonstration. Here are some helpful links to our proposal tools. So our blog post again is listed there. Our proposal tool help center link is listed there, and then help center videos are listed there as well. If you ever have any questions throughout your projects, you're more than welcome to email us at any time, support@aurorasolar.com. And one of our support associates will definitely get in touch with you. If you do have a dedicated customer success analysis, you're more than welcome to reach out to them at any time as well. We've come to the end of our webinar. Again, thank you everyone that's joined today and taking time out of your busy day. We'll give some time for some questions here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type those into the chat box. Quickly going back over to the Aurora page though. If you'd like some one-on-one help time, again, if you've been contacted by your customer success analyst, please feel free to reach out and set up some time with them. If you'd like to get in touch with support, you'll simply click this question mark icon here next to your name. You'll click need to speak with a support specialist. And then you can set up some time to speak with the representative. You can select the type of help that you need, whether it's financial, proposal, smart roof, anything there, and they'll help you out with that. Again, thank you everyone for joining today. We're going to stay on for a few more minutes for any questions coming through. Everyone will be receiving a copy of today's webinar in a few moments right after we end today. Again, thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. We're going to stay on for a few more minutes. I do have my colleagues here who will be going through any questions that you may have, but you will be getting a copy of today's recording. I hope this was helpful. Again, we're really excited about these updates, and hopefully they will help you with your workflow. Thanks again everyone for joining. All right. Thanks again, everyone, for joining today's webinar. If we didn't get to your questions, I have saved them, and I will be going through individually and sending you an update. If there is anything outstanding, again, you're more than welcome to email us, support@aurorasolar.com. We look forward to working with everyone very soon. Hopefully, again, today's webinar was helpful. Thank you again for joining, everyone. Bye-bye.